English boosters 26 to 30. Booster 26. Here are some useful expressions or idioms about probability. To be the favorite to win. You can use Susan is the hot favorite to win the contest. This expression is most common in the UK. When something is almost certain, very predictable, you can use a foregone conclusion. For example, the result of the experiment is a foregone conclusion. You can use it in the cards when there is a high chance of something to happen. It is mostly used in the US. For example, it looks like the victory is in the cards for Susan after scoring another goal. When something is highly improbable, you can use don't hold your breath. For example, Susan says she will pass her English test, but don't hold your breath. She hasn't studied at all. When something is very unknown or uncertain, you can use touch and go. For example, Susan has injured her knee. It's a touch and go whether she will be able to play in the tournament this week. When you want to express that something happens or succeeds, although it seems impossible or very unlikely, you can use the expression against all odds. For example, against all odds, Cuba defeated Argentina in the finals. Booster 27. If you want to express hunger in a more varied way than the usual I'm hungry, you can use I'm a bit peckish. This phrase indicates a mild or slight hunger. For instance, if you're not ravenously hungry but could use a snack, you might say, I'm a bit peckish. I'm starving. This expression is a more intense way of saying you're very hungry. It conveys a sense of extreme hunger. For example, after that workout, I'm starving. Booster 28. When working in a business environment, here is a list of vocabulary commonly used for presenting in meetings. To show of hands, which means to vote by raising hands. For example, can we have a show of hands for those who agree with the idea? To set a date, which means to agree on a date in the future. For instance, shall we set a date for the next meeting? To take questions, meaning to listen to and answer questions. For example, I will take questions at the end of the presentation. To take the minutes, which means to write the record of what was said during the meeting. For instance, Susan will take minutes of the meeting today. To reach a consensus, meaning to arrive at a position of agreement. As in, it took hours to reach a consensus. To sum up, basically means to conclude. For instance, so, to sum up, we need to increase sales in the area. The expression any other business or AOB means any matter discussed in a meeting that is not on the agenda. For example, I think we're finished unless there is any other business. To run out of time, which means having no time left for something. For instance, we can't discuss that now because we're running out of time. To review the numbers. This expression means to look again at the written record of a past meeting. For instance, let's start by reviewing the minutes of last month's meeting. Booster 29. Alternatives to I'm hungry. If you don't want to use the same expression all the time, here are some other options. I'm so pissed off. It's quite informal. I'm so annoyed. I'm absolutely fumming. I'm livid. I'm feeling quite cross. Other expressions like "this is the last straw" or "I'm at the end of my tether" can also be used to express when something bothers you. Booster 30. Let me introduce you many different ways to say completely. These are called non-grading adverbs and often mean entirely. They are used with adjectives. For example, his speech was absolutely awful. Here are some different words to say completely. Absolutely, entirely, utterly, totally, thoroughly, perfectly, and wholly. For example, absolutely fantastic, extremely boring. If you want to say almost entirely, then you can use the following adverbs: nearly, practically, mainly, largely, almost, virtually, mostly, and essentially. For example, nearly impossible. There are other adverbs you can use which are really, which means very much, fairly, and pretty, which mean quite a lot but not very.